strong. In an article by Baxter Holmes published this week on espn.com, he detailed the feuding between the Buss family that may have led to the $10 billion sale of the team. The story also pointed out issues between Jeanie Buss and LeBron James. The article states that Jeanie privately grumbled about what she felt was James' outsized ego and the overt control that he and Clutch Sports exerted over the organization at times. Clutch represents both James and Anthony Davis. The story also said that she did not like that James was considered a savior for the floundering franchise when he arrived in 2018. After Baxter's piece was published, Jeanie Buss responded to The Athletic with a statement saying, quote, "It's really not right, given all the great things LeBron has done for the Lakers, that he has to be pulled into my family drama. To say that I wasn't appreciative, just not true and completely unfair to him." So now we have, of course, Brian Windhorst back here with us on First Take, and Stephen A. as well. And Wendy, I'll start with you. What was your reaction to this article?
It's an amazing story about an amazing family. And I think if you take a step back and you look 10 years ago, Kobe Bryant had retired. The Lakers were in a tailspin as an organization. Jeanie Buss's brother, Jim, was running basketball operations, and the results on the court implied he was running them poorly. 10 years later, she partnered with the younger members of her family to remove the older members of her family from leadership. Then she partnered with the older members of her family to sell the team, when the younger members of her family didn't. And all of those Buss family members have now been fired. She has liquidated her holdings and become incredibly wealthy while keeping the job as governor. This has never happened in NBA history, where you can actually sell the team, sell majority control of the team, and remain as governor. And she did that because she negotiated a deal with a partner in Mark Walter that allowed her to do that. Looking at it that way, it's incredibly effective and some would say ruthless, management. She did something that, Dr. Jerry Buss, if it wasn't involving his blood, probably would admire. And we know this about Dr. Buss because there have been many, many stories written about him, books and movies and television shows. And by the way, Jeanie Buss and the Buss family have put out their own 10-part series about their family, and she's put out her own television show based on her. Like, this is not a family that doesn't mind having its business out in the street, okay? What I would say about LeBron is that everybody who has worked with LeBron in his 23 years at times feels like he's a headache. And those headaches are worth it times 10. And the Lakers were absolutely in the desert until LeBron came back, and he absolutely was the savior of the franchise, and he absolutely did irritate and bother them and wear them out, and they're thrilled that he did it. That's what the Cavs would say, that's what the Heat would say, that's what anybody who worked with them would say. All of this stuff is fascinating, but all of it is rational.
I completely agree. And the subject right here is about LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers. I have no doubt that he's gotten on their damn nerves from time to time. I mean, when you consider some of the decisions, the trade involving Russell Westbrook and how Jeanie reportedly walked around feeling like, he didn't accept accountability for when everything went south with that particular trade. Some of the folks that they got rid of, the Kyle Kuzmas of the world, and the ability to re-sign Alex Caruso and others, it had his fingerprints. This is what they want to say. But the one thing that was this article, I believe, left out was that LeBron James was worth it. And that's what we really, really have to embrace here. The Lakers were nowhere. You were praying that LeBron James came to Tinseltown. And it is absolutely true that he was letting folks know he was coming to the Los Angeles Lakers, the year before he arrived. We all suspected it. Now, they wanted Magic Johnson's fingerprints on it. They wanted it to happen while Magic Johnson was there because they had an affinity for Magic Johnson, and they let it be known that, out of respect to him, they wanted him there when it happened, as opposed to somebody else getting some credit for his arrival. But it was always understood that he was going to go there. It was the worst kept secret in basketball at that particular moment in time. We all expected it, and when it happened, it didn't surprise any of us, but it pleased most of us, especially people like me who love being in Southern California in May and June. I ain't apologizing for that to anybody, okay? And so, but when you look at LeBron James, listen, there are people who dismiss the championship in the bubble. I do not. I give him and Anthony Davis and them a lot of credit for winning that championship in the bubble. I also give him credit for resurrecting this Lakers franchise and returning them to relevancy. Now, does Rich Paul and Clutch Sports, talk about wielding their power, whatever? Well, let's pump the brakes on that, please. They do what any agent in their position or any agency in their position would do. If you have some muscle, you're going to flex it from time to time to ensure that your tenure is as successful as it possibly can be. You're going to make suggestions. They're going to be strong-handed suggestions like, you need to do this because if you don't, we're not going to be happy. I'm quite sure those kind of things have happened, but it's not a crime. And this notion that Rich Paul is some kind of villain because Clutch Sports, was wielding its power and it was leaning on LeBron James to do it. I will remind you, the Lakers had really, really, really regressed to, I would never say irrelevancy because we're talking about the purple and gold. We're talking about one of the greatest basketball franchises, one of the top 2 basketball franchises in sports annals. There's no doubt about it. But the other side to it is that LeBron did resurrect the Los Angeles Lakers. There is no question that happened. And even in his 23rd season, at over 40 years of age, 41 years of age, the brother's still doing his thing. He's out there giving you 20 plus a night. So let's not pump the brakes. We all know I can be critical of him. I wouldn't hesitate. I ain't gonna lie on the brother. Fact of the matter is that the man deserves a lot more credit than blame. And that's why Jeannie Buss had to come out with her statement, because regardless of what her feelings may have been, regardless of what she's tacitly alluded to, in the end, it doesn't usurp LeBron's contribution to the Los Angeles Lakers. He returned them to relevancy because for several years they were not.
So whenever LeBron does decide to walk away, right, he'll leave the Lakers better than he came to them, right? And I think that is a big point here and what we're all trying to say. However,
that is true.
This seemingly seems like the end for LeBron. If he doesn't retire this year, it's definitely going to be very soon. Do you think that he should spend his last year, this year, next year, whenever it may come, in Los Angeles?
Bill, Shay, and I think, Wendy, I don't know if you were on the air with me when I said it, but I'll repeat it for you anyway. I was always of the mindset that LeBron, because once Luka arrived and it was clearly Luka's franchise and the ball was going to be in his hands and everybody was talking about that's going to be the global iconic figure that they'll evolve their marketing schemes around, et cetera, et cetera. My attitude is if you really, really want to win, how about going back to Cleveland? Now, I'm not one to advise people to leave places like LA and Miami for Cleveland. That is not what I do. But I'm thinking about basketball in this particular situation. And I'm like, could you imagine if you could keep a Mobley and you could keep a Donovan Mitchell and LeBron returned to Cleveland to end his career? There is no doubt that the Cleveland Cavaliers would have been the favorites to come out of the Eastern Conference, which would have given LeBron James a last chance at a championship to end his career, which would give him 5 if he were to pull it off, which would tie Kobe, which would tie Tim Duncan, which would pull him to within 1 of Jordan, and all of those legacy things that people purport he pays so much attention to, whether he's willing to admit it or not. I believed him coming back to Cleveland, who, for obvious reasons, do and should revere this man for life. That would have been a great, great swan song